Hello, Steve Menendez here, back with Project Salty Frog. Today is Easter Sunday 2016. I'm not even really sure of the date, but it's been a couple of weeks since we posted updates here to the project, so I want to get everybody caught up on what's been going on the last few weeks. Been doing work on the suspension, got it all torn apart, cleaned up, sent out for powder coating, got all those parts back, got the clutch, pressure plate, throw-out bearing setup, all plumbed and bled, so it's working properly now. Ordered a couple of axle shafts. I thought I was going to be able to modify axle shafts, but I ended up just buying brand new ones. Let's see. Also got stripped the interior of the truck, got it all cleaned up, primed and painted, sealed, so that's done now. I have modified the steering column for a new quick release. We got a couple of different steering wheels we're going to mess around with trying fitment on. And let's see, maybe there's some other little knickknacks along the way that got done. The shifter got taken care of, got the mounting figured out for that. The cables are all run, fire protected. So let me take you on a quick tour of all the progress that's taken place over the last few weeks on the project. Since the last video, all the suspension for the Rampage was torn apart. Daryl and I took it all apart one evening. Came apart pretty well, but it was really pretty crusty looking stuff. So I took all the parts into my day job, bead blasted the caliper brackets, the spindles, and the coilover brackets. That's a rack and pinion mount there, and the cross member. After I got done modifying, welding a bunch of holes shut on the cross member, try to seal it all up from the effects of salt. So got those parts all cleaned up and took them to Denko powder coating in Herculaneum, Missouri. And Dennis there did a fantastic job, used a 60% gloss black, which he says is kind of what most people use for chassis parts. See, everything turned out with a nice even sheen. That should be really tough stuff. Hold up well to the rigors of what we're going to put it through. So hopefully late this summer we'll see how it works out on the salt flats. Try to protect this stuff from corrosion as much as possible. Another item that's been taken care of since the last update is the clutch pressure plate throw-out system. The slave cylinder and master cylinder have been installed and plumbed. Took a little bit of figuring to get the right combination of fittings, but I wanted to use a flexible high pressure AN style line. So it's a little bit tough to see back in there. Yeah, you can't quite see very well. But I've got a 90-degree flexible AN line, -3 line, and a -3 line in there on the slave cylinder. Had my son Ben help me bleed that, and it feels really good. So we can start putting everything else back together in here. Didn't want to have to try to fight with getting that installed with the intercooler and some of the other plumbing items that have to go in place. Also, since the last update, we completely tore the interior apart, took the seat out, took everything, mostly everything that would bolt out, took it all out, and there's quite a bit of surface rust, corrosion on the floor pan and some spots on the roll cage. So we went in there with wire wheels, wire brushes, and some drills and tried to clean up as much of that as we could. Got it pretty darn clean all the way around. Then did some red oxide, what's called rusty metal primer. Painted the entire floor pan and the cage probably about halfway up where that corrosion was. And then last but not least, I went over it with a fresh coat of, it's actually a Ford gray, like a Ford 8N tractor paint and enamel, and I used a catalyst, hardener on the, mixed in with the paint to get a nice sheen. It actually looks a lot more white than light gray, but this is the stuff that I've used all along for the roll cage and the floor pan and other things that end up being painted that light gray Ford color. So the interior looks nice and tidy again, so when it gets put back together, it'll look a little more professional. And we can see there that pan is where the shifter will mount. The shifter right now is just kind of being suspended right there, but got a couple of bars that bolt into those chassis tabs there, and subsequently then the whole shifter bolts to that. And it's adjustable front to back. So that was a quick tour of the suspension updates, interior updates, and the clutch pressure plate plumbing setup. I have one more item that we got taken care of since the last update, and I just want to show it here. It's a quick detach for the steering wheel. We had a hex type quick detach on there, but those hex type units end up with a lot of play in them, side to side, kind of flopping around. These splined pieces have a much better, tighter fit to eliminate wobble in the steering wheel. And nobody, if we're going 140, 150, 160 or faster miles per hour, we definitely don't want to have any wobble in that steering wheel. A couple other quick things to show. These are just the difference in the steering wheels. This is the wheel that we had been using in the truck. It was set up mainly for me to drive. Then we've got Daryl Hake, who's also going to be driving, and he's probably 4 or 5 inches taller than I am at least. Yeah, probably in that range. So when he's in the truck, his knees kind of get in the way of the steering wheel. So we went and bought a 10-inch diameter steering wheel, kind of a little, much smaller diameter, and we'll try that out in the truck as well. We should be able to switch between the two if we need to, but if we can settle on, if I'm comfortable driving it with the little wheel, we'll just leave the little wheel in there. So that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing, and I'll keep posting updates to Project Salty Frog. Thank you.